So here we go, we got a fitted canopy on Amarok. First things first, we just fit the spacers, 50 mil all around, then your big chassis plate mount at the rear. That's the spacer. And that's the chassis plate mate. So they'll sit like that, and they'll just go over your existing holes. Now we'll grab the chassis mounts, and you just line these holes up. Fit your chassis kit, which will be 6 bolts along the chassis. For these we use 80 mil bolts, and then we'll fit the canopy to the chassis rails. How we get the canopy onto the chassis, we use the forklift underneath, being extremely careful not to damage the canopy body. Slowly come out, ensuring your twines aren't going to hit the canopy. So the next step will be mounting the canopy to the fit kit, which will include the 50 mil bolts to come through here. You have to pre-drill it. You line it up where you want your canopy and then put it into position. That will be 12 bolts, 6 on each side. Do all those bolts up. Make sure it's nice and level, nice and even from the card, not crooked. Once you have all that on, you start from the front, put your infill panels in. They're a bit tricky to get in to start off with. You don't want to crank it too tight, otherwise you won't be able to adjust it to suit your wheel arch. There'll be 11 bolts to fit the wheel arch. I always start with the center bolt to make it easier. Then we'll go to the second hole back, and you just line everything up to the nutserts. Fit your wheel arches. There'll be 1 bolt to secure the infill panel to the floor, and then you'll have a further 5 bolts for the saddle box. Next step, we'll fit the saddle boxes. Tuck all the wires out the way. Center bolt, line the center bolt up with a center nutsert. You just want to make sure all this is running in a flush line. So when you shut it, it all locks. Moving back, rear bumper, you'll have 2 M8 bolts to go into the center here, which will hold the rear bumper into place, and then you'll have the further bolts, 3 M6 bolts to hold the tail light surrounds in. Take the cover off, indicators out to the right, feed your wire through, and it should just pop straight in. Overall, it's a pretty easy process, so it should be pretty straightforward.